Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's been a while since I've been making videos about, well, other movies, but as you can see, I've been working on films of my own, and you can probably see some of that on the channel. Go ahead and check that out for sure. I do appreciate it, but I did want to come back and make sure I make my annual video of my favorite films of the year. Just because I haven't been making videos doesn't mean I haven't been seeing movies, so let's jump into it. My favorite films of 2025. I didn't exactly make a top 10, and I'm not really a big fan of honorable mentions, so what I'm going to do is actually the top 16, so let's go. Coming in at number 16 is a film that comes from one half of a duo that are brothers, not the Coen brothers, but rather the Safdie brothers, both of which made a movie this year. However, one landed on my list here at number 16, and that is Marty Supreme. Josh Safdie directs Timothée Chalamet running around New York. It's uncut gems, but maybe not quite as mean and gritty and harsh. There was an exorbitant amount of hype for this film, and of course Timmy is on a true marketing tear. I was really hyped for this movie just because of the hype around it. I was like, well, there must be something to enjoy, and in fact, there is. However, I definitely was a little bit overhyped, and it didn't quite make it into my top 10. However, it's definitely worth going to the cinema and checking out. It's a lot of fun, propulsive, fun movie at the cinema. I would highly recommend checking out Marty Supreme. Coming in at number 15 is a film that stars Joel Edgerton and Felicity Jones, and that is Train Dreams. Train Dreams is an extraordinarily sweet film about a logger and his family and his own pursuit of happiness in the face of grief. It has some of the most breathtaking cinematography of the year and some wonderful performances, and the movie did make me weep. However, I must say it is not one of the films that I will probably come back to again and again. However, I do highly recommend watching it. Coming in at number 14 is 28 Years Later. It is a more than worthy sequel to the 28 Days Later franchise. It is scary and intense and surprisingly super sincerely emotional. This movie made me cry when Ray Fiennes took us to the Bone Temple. The cinematography is lovely and the music is balls to the wall and just some of the most interesting scoring that I've heard this year. This flick was a blast at the cinema, and I'm excited to see what comes out of the sequel in January. Coming in at number 13 is Eddington. Thought it might be higher on the list originally, but then the rest of the year happened. This film is a searing representation of what the US went through at the outset of the pandemic. I love Ari Aster, and he's definitely in his sauce here. Being a paranoia, anxiety-fueled journey into insanity starring Joaquin Phoenix. Great performances all around, although I do wish it didn't seem to fence it as much as it did. However, it's more than worth the price of admission. Coming in at number 12 is the Knives Out sequel, Wake Up Dead Man. It's really just a ton of fun at the cinema. Honestly, I just had a blast with it. Maybe there's some recency bias, maybe. Josh O'Connor and Daniel Craig have lovely chemistry together on screen, and O'Connor really is the heart at the center of the film. The craft and the writing brought to us by Rian Johnson is absolutely wonderful, which is to be expected now, and I just really look forward to seeing these movies come out, and I'll be excited to see the next one. I'll be sat, okay? Also, Brolin is just unhinged as Monsignor Wicks. It's pretty great. Coming in at number 11 is Hamnet. Hamnet is an emotionally devastating film that comments on the power of art and its ability to allow us to just process our own humanity. It is a harrowing time at the cinema, but it's definitely worth watching and beautiful. And Jessie Buckley's gonna win an Oscar. I'm calling it now. Coming in at number 10, well, we have Sinners. Sinners is a rip-roaring blockbuster, a fun, good time at the cinema that has more to it than meets the eye upon some dissection, and it has some fantastic filmmaking. The performances, the cinematography, the incredible score, and the scale of the movie feels massive while also being intimate at the same time. It's an awesome genre film that transcends the genre that it lives in and is just a ton of fun, and you should go check it out and watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Getting into the single digits. Okay, coming in number 9, we've got something from Argentina, Papa, Kill the Jockey. This film was exceptional. And I didn't necessarily have incredibly high expectations, although I was excited to watch it, but it was just a fucking ton of fun. I'm sure I am biased in my assessment here due to my attachment to Argentina. However, I genuinely think it's one of the best films of the year. This film is exceptional and is just an exquisite piece of bizarre, surreal filmmaking that's in the same vein as Fellini. And if you're into that, you'll probably dig this. But I genuinely think it's just a ton of fun to watch. It's well acted, it's goofy, it's endlessly entertaining. Go check out Kill the Jockey. Coming in at number 8, we got some Más Español, baby. That is going to be Surratt. Now, technically, this was a joint production between a couple of different European nations. However, at the very center of it, we have Sergi Lopez. You might potentially recognize him as the scary fascist general from Pan's Labyrinth. But now he's a dad. A dad searching for his daughter in a rave in the desert with his son and their dog. All of these ravers go into the desert for the purpose of raving, but they find a lot more existential dread than they were bargaining for. It was a tough sit. However, if you know that going into it, it's an enjoyable tough sit. The score here is phenomenal. Shout out to my buddy Jeff. The cinematography, all of the performances are top notch. This was just a wonderful surprise. Go watch Surratt. Coming in at number 7, we have a Iranian filmmaker, and that film is It Was Just an Accident. Jafar Panahi creates a banger of a film. However, I was not nearly as high on this for the first 60, even maybe 70% of the runtime. It wasn't bad, but I wasn't just fully locked in and engaged, and all of that definitely changed in that last stretch of the film. This film really wraps it up strong and puts a fat exclamation point on its thesis with some of the most riveting couple of last scenes of the entire film. Go watch It Was Just an Accident. Coming in at number 6 is a film that maybe doesn't have the same pedigree as some of these other films I've been talking about, but is a personal favorite of mine for the year, and that film is Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back comes to us from the Australian Philippa brothers, who also directed Talk to Me, and Bring Her Back is a terrifying and upsetting film. Everyone in the cast is fantastic. However, Sally Hawkins at the center of this film is really anchoring with a sublime performance. If you're into horror, this is some incredible filmmaking and a great horror film, and you should definitely check it out. However, if you do not like horror at all, you can probably safely skip it. Coming in at number 5, another film with great performances directed by Yorgos Lanthimos is Begonia. You should know Yorgos Lanthimos from some of his films like Poor Things or The Lobster. It's shot impeccably with a fascinating score while containing some incredible performances coming from Emma Stone, of course, but also one of the best performances that Jesse Plemons has ever given. It's immensely fun and funny and just a disturbing commentary on the current state of things. You should check out Begonia. Coming in at number 4 is Weapons. Not to repeat myself, but this film rips. In the moment, I was definitely maybe slightly disappointed because I wanted it to be scarier, and also was really kind of trying to decipher what was going on behind the scenes in terms of the subtext of the film, and maybe wasn't in the best mood either. But if you accept it for what it is, which is a horror comedy that is immaculately made, it is a boatload of enjoyment and fun to discuss. Amy Madigan gives a really special performance as Aunt Gladys, but why is there an alarm clock on the rifle? I don't get it. Go check out Weapons. Weapons is great. Even if you don't like horror, it's fun. Go watch it. Coming in at number 3, we have Sentimental Value. I loved Joachim Trier's last film, The Worst Person in the World, which also starred Renata Reigns. This film's about the difficulty of living in a family, especially an artistic family, and a family that has a very successful, famous film director as the head of said family, contemplating how to live with an imperfect family and how art can be used to process one's life and express oneself. This film is beautifully shot and chock full of incredible performance from, of course, Renata Reigns, but also the actress who plays her sister, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius, Elle Fanning, and the great Stellan Skarsgård. Sentimental Value is a wonderful, wonderful film, and you should definitely watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Coming in at number 2, we're already at Dos. That's The Secret Agent. The film stars Wagner Moura, who you might recognize as Pablo Escobar from Narcos, or more recently from Civil War as a war journalist. This is a crazy story about life under Brazil's military dictatorship, but more specifically focused on this former professor who is kind of hiding out with these other political refugees. This film echoes similar themes of memory and political or national trauma as last year's I'm Still Here, also from Brazil. But I think this is a much more propulsive film. It does take its subject matter seriously, but it still knows how to be a ton of fun. The film really is just a wild ride and plays with genre, and Wagner Moura is incredible. I am sure he'll be nominated for an Oscar, as he should. Go watch The Secret Agent. Coming in at number 1 is a film that is probably not a surprise to people if you do know me, and that film is One Battle After Another. This, for me, is my favorite cinematic experience of 2025, and is the film that I did see more than once at the theater. It is a film that is truly, truly of the moment with its themes and subject matter, and is chock full of incredible performances from Chase Infinity to Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn. This is, of course, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and he is loosely adapting a novel called Vineland. It deals with this group of revolutionaries, and we kind of follow specific members over the course of time and what happens when that group becomes compromised. This film's politics might not be perfect, but it does have a revolutionary spirit and a lovely, wonderful, heartfelt father-daughter story at the center of it. It is an awe-inspiring film cinematically, it's exceedingly propulsive, and is hilarious with a true blue PTA sense of humor. In the end, the message of the film is optimistic, and it does really suit its title. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking it out in this channel and checking out the stuff that gets published here with regard to my filmmaking journey, as well as other videos that will end up coming out. I do appreciate it, and yeah, so go ahead, like, subscribe, let me know what you guys loved seeing in the cinema or not, or at home, in the comments below. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Ciao! Oh my gosh. I don't like what I wrote. I need to expand my motherfucking vocabulary.